neuroplasticity, continuum pedagogy, and teaching neurodiverse adult students. The adult brain remains capable of profound reorganization. Neuroplasticity, the formation, strengthening, pruning, and refinement of neural connections, continues across the lifespan, allowing new skills in listening, motor control, and multimodal integration to take root even decades after childhood. Musical training provides an especially rich stimulus for this adaptability because it simultaneously engages auditory, motor, sensory, and attentional systems while offering emotional reward. Continuum pedagogy is particularly well suited to harness these mechanisms. Its emphasis on safety, small incremental steps, listening before performance, and continuity, rather than urgency, creates the precise conditions under which adult neuroplasticity can unfold with least resistance and greatest sustainability. In continuum practice, the instrument is approached as a living field rather than a sequence of achievements. Beginning with a single note and exploring its many possible articulations, dynamics, and emotional colors, then adding only one further note at a time, places manageable, repeated demands on auditory discrimination and fine motor mapping. These modest challenges are exactly the kind of focused, embodied activity that research associates with measurable change, enhanced connectivity between auditory and motor cortices, refinements in white matter pathways, and increased efficiency in the networks that support pitch stability and timing. Because each step remains small and fully inhabited, the nervous system is neither overwhelmed nor understimulated. The repeated act of returning, without pressure to demonstrate progress, allows incremental synaptic adjustments to consolidate through ordinary practice and sleep, rather than through forced intensity. Emotional safety is not merely a pedagogical courtesy, it is a biological prerequisite. Chronic stress and performance anxiety elevate cortisol and can blunt the very neurotrophic processes, including BDNF signaling, that support synaptic growth. Continuum's deliberate removal of external demands for speed, correctness, or visible achievement lowers threat responses and permits the dopaminergic and reward-related systems that amplify learning to operate more freely. Listening is placed first, before fingers, before bow, before any concern with result, so that the ear itself becomes the primary organizer of experience. Sustained drones, harmonic relationships within the instrument, and attentive exploration of resonance further train the auditory system, while giving the learner a stable internal reference. These practices strengthen the very pathways that adult neuroimaging studies show are responsive to musical engagement. For teachers working with neurodiverse adult students, the same principles become especially enabling. Neurodiversity, whether expressed as differences in sensory processing, attention regulation, executive function, or social-emotional patterning, often means that conventional hierarchical or high-pressure methods create overload, shutdown, or rapid fatigue. Continuum's architecture of small, predictable units offers a different route. A single-note exploration can be extended or contracted according to the student's current capacity. The same material can serve as grounding, regulation, or technical refinement without the student needing to keep up with an external sequence. Permission to sound clumsy, to pause, to repeat, or to vary the task removes the evaluative layer that frequently triggers anxiety or perfectionism in neurodiverse learners. Teachers can further support plasticity by prioritizing internal resonance over external metrics. When a student is invited to notice the moment an open string begins to ring freely, or the subtle shift from beating to settled harmony, attention is directed toward felt sensory information rather than abstract correctness. This multimodal, body-based feedback is often more accessible and less cognitively costly for students whose processing styles favor sensory or proprioceptive channels. Drones and slow, relational tuning exercises provide predictable anchors that can reduce auditory overwhelm while simultaneously training the ear. The continuum insistence on continuity, returning to the instrument as a place of contact rather than a site of assessment, helps build the stable, low-stakes routines that many neurodiverse adults need in order for new neural patterns to stabilize. Motivation and agency are equally important. Neuroplastic change is accelerated when the learner experiences the activity as intrinsically rewarding and self-directed. By framing practice as permission to attend rather than obligation to achieve, teachers protect the student's sense of ownership. Variations in pacing, the option to work entirely by ear or with minimal notation, and the freedom to explore emotional color before technical finish all allow the adult student to engage from their own strengths. Over time, these conditions support the gradual expansion of auditory motor maps, improved sensory integration, and the quiet growth of confidence that comes from feeling the instrument respond reliably. The continuum approach therefore does not treat neuroplasticity as an abstract scientific backdrop. It treats it as a living process that can be invited through the daily architecture of practice. For the neurodiverse adult, the same architecture offers a rare combination of structure and flexibility, predictability and agency, challenge and safety. Teachers who work within these principles are not merely transmitting technique, they are creating the environmental and relational conditions under which the adult nervous system can continue to reorganize itself in the presence of sound. The result is not a forced acceleration toward an external standard, but a gradual, sustainable deepening of relationship with the instrument, with listening, and with the self that is learning. From the book The Continuum Approach to Music, Foundations, a Pedagogical Framework for Musical Learning by Sarnia de la Maré FRSA.